Zoink, Scoob. You want to learn how to do a fucking infinite? Like, I'm a teacher, motherfucking bitch ass man. um,
That I did not know you were capable of such an accurate Shaggy impression.
welcome to Charge Motion. My name is Saximus.
My name is Ghoul.
Ghoul, what have you been playing lately?
I'm gonna keep it 100. I've been playing a lot of Halo.
That's
Halo
okay.
Infinite came out, and I haven't been able to get myself away from it. It's free, so play it if you like FPS games. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
It's free?
Yeah, the multiplayer portion of the game is free.
That's actually really sick.
Yep. The only time you have to buy it is if you want to play the campaign, and I assume the other single player content like the firefight mode and stuff.
That's actually really cool. But it's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about fighting games.
Yes.
Until they inevitably put Master Chief in a fighting game. Kind of surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Man,
we're gonna talk about
Killer Instinct 2.
Yeah, Killer Instinct 2. Seriously. We're gonna talk about fighting games, and there's actually been a lot of news since our last episode.
There has.
So we're gonna start off with Project L. It exists. It's
Project
real.
L is real.
It's real because Tom and Tony Cannon put out this long 6-7 minute video finally showing off the game. Like, when was it first announced?
Oh god,
years ago.
It had to have been years ago at this point. And it was always like right in the back of everybody's minds, right? They're like, "Oh, we're gonna see that Riot fighting game soon."
I always assumed it was gonna be like a Half-Life 3 situation because we'd heard literally nothing for so long.
That's true.
But
yeah.
no, it's real. And a lot to say about it. But before we talk about it, I just want to preface this by saying fuck Riot Games.
I mean, yeah.
They have a long, well-documented history of sexual harassment and discrimination in the workplace, and I know everyone concentrates on Activision Blizzard because they also have those things going on. But I think the statement "Riot Games sucks and needs to change" and the statement "I hope this upcoming video game is good" are two statements that can coexist, but we need to make sure that the former does not get lost in the latter. So we're going to preface by saying, with that said, I think Tom and Tony Cannon specifically have had a incalculable impact on the FGC as a whole.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I think the pitch that they gave for this game was really good. I don't like League. I played it in college. I got to like level 7. I don't like it. I have no attachment to the characters, but the game still looks really cool.
I'm almost in the same boat where it's like I don't really like League. I don't like the game. I like watching the game at a high level.
Yeah,
watching high level like LCS matches and stuff is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Playing the game and interacting with the community isn't something that I'm excited to do. So I don't. But the thing I do like about League is the characters and the lore and all of that stuff. Like, I like that. Wesley had to make his debut.
And there he goes.
I like the characters and stuff that are attached to League of Legends, so it's like I want to enjoy the game because I want to experience those characters and that art style specifically, but I don't like the game, so I don't. But now I get to have those characters and that art style in a fighting game, which I'm excited about.
And it looks really good. And
it does.
We didn't know. It says 2019 it was announced. That was the initial reveal. But we didn't know until the presentation last week that it's going to be a 2v2 game.
Yeah.
With assists, because I'm trying to think of other two. I mean, there's obviously Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but other than that, I can't. And Blaze Blue Cross Tag, obviously, but 2v2 games are hard to come by. Street Fighter Cross Tekken, right? That's 2v2.
Street Fighter Cross Tekken Tag Tournament, if you want to be technical.
Yeah, but most team-based games are usually 3 characters, or in the case of Skullgirls, you can choose your team size. But this is really cool. It says on Riot's website, we're excited to share that Project L will be a tag team style fighting game where you'll build and pilot a team of 2 different champions. And they showed some gameplay from a few different characters. Again, I don't follow League, so I don't know any of the characters. I know Jinx, I know Ahri, and I think the new character is called Echo.
Yeah, Echo has been in League for a while.
Oh, okay.
But the way they like made him function in this game looks super sick. Because his whole gimmick is that he's like an inventor who created some gadgets that let him rewind time for short periods. So one of his abilities in League is that he activates it, and then after a short delay, it blinks him back to where he was when he activated the ability.
I hate to make this comparison, but so he's Tracer.
Yes.
Okay.
But I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, someone correct me on this because I don't play Overwatch. I believe Echo came out before Overwatch was released.
I can look that up right now.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
But yeah, like they incorporated that ability into
a fighting game.
Yeah.
Like he places like some certain moves, special moves that he does, place an after image on the screen, and then after a certain amount of time, he blinks back to that after image.
You are correct. Echo did come out before Overwatch. Echo came out in 2015. I'm pretty sure Overwatch was 2016. But yeah, and like the game looks cool. Like they have, I noticed that they have a lot of hit stop frames on hits, so like it looks really crunchy, and like all the hits have a lot of impact. It looks like a fun game. I mean, this is still obviously very early footage.
Very early. Yeah.
I highly doubt that we will get the game in our hands in any capacity any earlier than 2023.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if like the full release was 2024. It looks really good. Server-based rollback netcode.
Server-based rollback netcode.
I mean, it's you know, the Cannon Brothers are literally the guys who designed GGPO. So
I leave it in their hands.
I trust them, and I remember during the thing they said that they don't want to make a fighting game where a newcomer can beat a pro. They want to make a fighting game that is fun at all skill levels. They get it.
They do.
If there's anybody going to make who I trust to make a fighting game designed for the FGC, it's going to be the Cannon Brothers.
So, like, the controversy around this game, because there's controversy around everything in the FGC, is we're coming to find.
Because we can't be happy with anything.
Ever. But the controversy around the game is that they've made it a point to point out that the game is using simple inputs. Meaning that most special moves are going to be executed with either very simplistic or a total lack of motion controls.
Right.
So the idea is that, you know, if anybody's played Rising Thunder or Fantasy Strike, it's kind of like that system where you don't have to input a quarter circle to do a Hadouken. You just press a button and a fireball comes out.
Yeah.
And those are usually with the intent to remove a barrier of entry to newer players. And that's a hot button topic in the FGC in general.
So but yeah, like my and every now and then the Scrub Quotes account will post somebody complaining about motion controls. Like, oh, they're outdated. Fighting games don't need them. I think they're like any other thing in a fighting game character's kit. Like they're a tool. Your game does not need motion inputs, but they can add depth and complexity when used well. A lot of fighting games use them well, and there are plenty of fighting games that don't have motion inputs that have a lot of other stuff going on. I know you mentioned Rising Thunder, and what else? Fantasy Strike. But also Pokken Tournament does not have motion inputs, and I'm pretty sure Power Rangers Battle for the Grid doesn't either.
I think Battle for the Grid might have quarter circles.
Okay.
But definitely, so I could be wrong about that, but there's definitely nothing more intricate than a quarter circle in that game.
Yeah, and both of those games have a lot going on.
Yeah.
They have very complex systems that don't need complex motion inputs.
Even Dragon Ball Fighters doesn't have anything more complex than a quarter circle in it.
Quarter circle or down.
Or down, yeah.
So I'm fine with it. A fighting game does not need motion inputs to be good, and motion inputs do not make a good fighting game.
Yeah, I think that, for me, I personally like motion inputs. But I think that it's okay that games are coming out without them, as long as the games that use them still exist.
Yeah.
And to me, like, I don't think we're ever going to get a Street Fighter game without motion inputs.
No.
And we're definitely never going to get, like, a Tekken game without complex motion inputs.
Yeah.
So I know that I will always have those franchises to go back to if I want a classic style gameplay, or even like King of Fighters.
Yeah.
I have franchises that I know that I'll be able to go back to when I want to play a more traditional fighting game with more traditional motion inputs.
Variety is good.
Variety is great.
Because I know, I'm speaking for myself, like one thing I was concerned about when it was first shown off a few years ago was I was kind of considered just to be like a mediocre Street Fighter clone.
Hmm.
And it's not. It's its own thing, and it being its own thing includes not having motion inputs. I forgot where I was going with that sentence. It's being unique. It's not trying to be like literally everything else. Yes, server-based rollback netcode, which can't be cheap.
No, absolutely not. But there's Riot Games money behind it.
Yeah, it's got Riot and Tencent money behind it. So yeah, they said on the website, they're going to commit to at least 2 updates next year, and we'll hear from them again sometime early in the second half of 2022.
I'm just interested to see what characters get in, because I played League of Legends. I played casually for probably about a year before I put the game down and just walked away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of characters during that time that I really, really like. Like characters like Jinx, I'm going to play Jinx. I know a lot of people are, but
yeah, I know nothing about League, but like Jinx is peak character design.
Yes.
Seriously. Like she's incredibly recognizable, and like that's the thing about League. Like it has a ton of characters. Like they're never gonna want for more characters.
Oh yeah, never.
I think I played Janna when I played back in college.
Janna's a cool character too.
Yeah, I remember having fun with Janna.
Janna. So the characters that they showed us in the trailer, off the top of my head, were Jinx, Ahri, Echo, Darius.
Is that the axe dude?
Darius is the axe guy. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we saw footage of Katarina being modeled, but they didn't show her in the actual gameplay portion of the trailer. They showed like a sweep shot of like the studio working on the game, and we saw Katarina being worked on one of the monitors, but they didn't actually show gameplay of her.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's Ahri, Jinx, Echo, and Darius, I think, are the 4 characters they showed actual gameplay of.
And Ahri's got these crazy air dashes. Oh my god.
Yeah, the juggle loops and like the she can place the orb and juggle you with it and dash back and forth. Yeah. It's like I've played League enough to recognize these characters, and they translated their League movesets into a fighting game very well.
I love when that happens, when characters from one property get translated into a different genre.
Like the hook thing that Darius does with his axe, that's one of his abilities in League, is he grabs you with his axe and pulls you towards him.
That makes perfect sense then, as a command grab, yeah.
And Ahri's air dashes, that's like her ultimate, is that she can dash, I think she can dash like up to 3 times.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that.
Then he's doing a spinny thing.
And then, yeah, that looks like a super animation or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Looks good. We don't have a name yet. It's just Project L.
Yeah, it's just Project L, which actually, to me, that's a perfectly acceptable name.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it'll have its own real name later.
And if nothing else, I am very much looking forward to all the scroll quotes that are gonna pop up from League players who jump into the game.
Am I trying to gatekeep League of Legends players from fighting games?
No. Please
Absolutely
play the game.
Not.
We love fighting games. We want more people to play it.
But I'm gonna say something controversial. The League of Legends community that I've interacted with has been very toxic to me. Like, personally. And how do I word this? I would be lying if I said that I won't find joy in dunking on them in a fighting game. But you know what? Maybe I won't.
Yeah, maybe you won't.
I don't know until the game comes out. Maybe League of Legends players are just going to pick up this game and just stomp everybody.
It's possible.
But who knows? Play the game. It's gonna be an experience to see these two communities clashing.
It is possible. I don't think they specified, but it is possible that because it's 2v2, it is possible that you're just gonna have a 4-player mode where one player is controlling each character.
That could be interesting. I could see it as like a fun party mode.
Yeah. But we do know that is how Multiversus is going to work.
Yes.
It finally got revealed after getting leaked. Multiversus, game developed by Player First Games, published by Warner Brothers. Free-to-play platform fighter with a whole bunch of Warner Brothers characters. And again, I said this before, like, I'm really exhausted with these giant media companies owning like 90% of all popular culture. I still hope the game's good, you know? All new free-to-play platform fighter video game with an ever-expanding cast of iconic characters in legendary universes. Multiverse will feature multiple online modes featuring a team-based 2v2 format, 1v1 matches, and 4-player free-for-all, along with upcoming content-filled seasons.
Gotta
So
have that season pass model.
yeah, free-to-play game. So up until now, the only fighting game that has successfully implemented a free-to-play model is Brawlhalla, which we're going to talk about later. This might take Brawlhalla's throne.
It might, yeah.
Yeah. We saw a bit of gameplay. I couldn't spot a whole lot of advanced tech that you would see in a normal platform fighter. Didn't see any wave dashing or dash dancing or anything like that. That of course doesn't mean it's not going to be in. But like if the game's good and has a lot of content, I think it's going to do very well.
I think it's going to be awesome. I mean, Batman and Superman always sell, right? Like
True,
you're always
yeah.
going to lure people in with those characters.
Mhm.
But Warner Brothers just has a lot of media under its belt. I mean, there's characters in here from Steven Universe, there's characters from Adventure Time, all the way to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, so the cast as we have it right now, from DC Comics, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Harley Quinn. We have Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, Bugs Bunny, Arya Stark, which I was not expecting a Game of Thrones character to appear.
Yeah.
Finn and Jake from Adventure Time, Steven and Garnet from Steven Universe, Tom and Jerry as a duo character, a tandem character, and then an original character named Rain Dog, like reindeer but dog.
Yes.
And yeah, like there's almost no limit to
the characters that could come in.
Seriously,
we discussed this earlier, but Warner Brothers owns TNT. TNT is the home of All Elite Wrestling.
We might get Kenny Omega.
There's a non-zero
chance of Kenny Omega being
appearing in this game. And that alone, like just the idea that there's a slight chance of it possibly happening is exciting to me. Because I've been wanting Kenny Omega in a fighting game forever.
And you know Kenny would love it.
Oh, absolutely.
And that means that
although there may be some issues with his moves. Because all of his moves are references to other games.
Oh, right.
His signature running knee strike is called V-Trigger.
Oh, I forgot
and
about
his
that.
finisher is literally called the One-Winged Angel.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's Kenny Omega's finisher.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So maybe there's a little... I don't know how copyright laws would fall into that, because I don't know.
And I know that they are taking some creative liberties with some of these characters. Like, the biggest example is Shaggy, who is apparently completely based off of the Ultra Instinct Shaggy meme.
Oh, yeah. They leaned into that meme super hard.
Yeah. Which is funny. Although it is great that he's still voiced by Matthew Lillard.
Yes.
But I'm not... I don't want to make assumptions. I'm not sure if the devs have watched Adventure Time. Because like the way they incorporated Stephen and Garnet was really weird. Like, all right, so
did you mean Steven Universe?
But Stephen and Garnet, because like Stephen's like the power of friendship voice line, which is heavy-handed even for Steven Universe.
Right.
But like Garnet's her special moves are Heart Song and Friendship Blast. I've watched all of Steven Universe. I have no idea what Friendship Blast is. You didn't give her Future Vision? Like, it's Garnet's thing. Like, make it a counter. Come on. It's the easiest design decision. I don't know. Game's not out yet. It's not done. But yeah, they may have to take some creative liberties. We might get Kenny Omega. We might finally get Scorpion or Sub-Zero.
Yeah, because it's Warner Brothers Media.
Yeah, and something other than Mortal Kombat.
And I would be remiss if I mentioned Warner Brothers Media without bringing up the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister.
Dot.
Being Yakko, Wacko, and Dot of the Animaniacs. I have a very personal bias because I love the Animaniacs.
Yeah, me too.
So if they don't appear in this game, I'm going to be upset.
Doesn't Warner Brothers own the works of Stephen King?
Is that a thing?
I think that's a thing. We might get Pennywise.
That would be something.
That would be something. I do know that Warner Media owns Rooster Teeth.
Oh, yeah. Which means we could get Ruby characters.
We could get Ruby characters. I am hesitant to say they're going to get Red versus Blue characters But knowing Microsoft, you never know.
You really do
Seriously.
never know.
And of course, we're going to get more DC Comics and
Yeah.
Cartoon Network and Adult Swim characters.
If
I think Rick Sanchez was in the leak.
I was about to say it's gonna be, I'd be very surprised if we don't see Rick Sanchez.
Yeah.
The original leak also included Gandalf.
Right. Forgot about Gandalf.
So I would assume that if Gandalf comes, then we would have more Lord of the Rings characters like Legolas and Frodo, and
I think Legolas would be sick. Actually, now that
Legolas would be a sick platform fighter character.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, man. And Gimli for that matter.
And Gimli, yeah. But this is all speculation. The roster that is officially confirmed is as follows: Arya Stark, Batman, Bugs Bunny, Finn from Adventure Time, Garnet from Steven Universe, Harley Quinn, Jake from Adventure Time, Rain Dog, a new original character, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, Steven Universe,
From Steven Universe.
Superman, Tom and Jerry as a tandem character,
Mm-hmm.
and Wonder Woman.
I'm really curious as to how Tom and Jerry are going to work, because they're the tandem character, and I think it's going to work more. I think it's going to work less like the Ice Climbers and more like Rosalina and Luma.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, if you watch the trailer, there's like that one clip where Tom shoots a projectile out of a slingshot, but Jerry is set across the stage,
And he hits it back.
and he hits it back towards him, and then
Yeah.
you can like juggle people in between the two of them. And I assume that there's going to be like more things like that where Jerry might either extend the range on moves or increase their effectiveness in some way if the move manages to interact with Jerry.
Yeah, but like free to play, coming to consoles and PC, not Switch.
But it is cross-platform.
Cross-platform, and also with server-based rollback netcode. And they made a point to emphasize that and how it works.
And I also believe they said it's cross-progression as well.
Yes.
So you can play on PC and then also log into your account on PlayStation, and it'll be the same account. You'll have all the same unlocks and stuff.
Full crossplay and cross-progression support across all launch platforms. So what was a one account, and you'll be good.
Yeah, which is awesome. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. I hope they don't. I mean, it's gonna be free to play. It's gonna have some gotcha or loot box nonsense, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm assuming that I'm gonna start with either a few characters to begin with, or there's gonna be like some weekly rotating free characters.
Yeah.
And then you grind for in-game currency to buy characters permanently.
Yeah, that's the way Brawlhalla does it, because Brawlhalla has a gigantic roster.
Yeah, that's the League of Legends model.
Yeah, where I think it's like 8 characters get rotated. Like 8's a pretty okay number, and if you like a character, you can just buy that character, and then that character will always be unlocked.
Yeah.
I forgot what else I was gonna say. So with this, a whole lot of Ryu numbers just got one step shorter.
Yeah, they did.
Because previously, a lot of characters are connected to Ryu through Brawlhalla and Shovel Knight, and then Shovel Knight Smash Ultimate Ryu. But now that all of these characters are here, and now that Ryu is also in Brawlhalla,
which is a thing.
which is a thing.
We're gonna get to
We're gonna get to that later. I mean, yeah, like Batman is in Multiverses with Finn and Jake, who are in Brawlhalla with Ryu.
Although Batman is also in Injustice 2 with the Ninja Turtles, who are in Brawlhalla with Ryu as well.
True. Yeah.
So yeah, Batman now has a Ryu number of 2.
Still.
Yeah.
But coming in 2022. That seems like a perfectly good segue into Ryu's in Brawlhalla now. Because of course he is.
Ryu, Chun-Li, and Akuma are now in Brawlhalla. I haven't played that much Brawlhalla.
I have, but not recently. What really frustrates me about the trailer is that like hard information is very sparse. Like I know some of the characters that appear are basically just skins or alternate costumes for pre-existing characters. I know that's definitely how the Shovel Knight characters worked. So I don't know if all these Street Fighter characters are like unique characters or if they're skins with unique voice lines, but they're here.
They're here.
Yeah.
It looked like they were unique characters because, like, I saw like a Tatsu and a Hadouken and a Shoryuken and stuff. But I also don't know if there are characters in Brawlhalla that just have those moves that they have
Yeah.
now stuck Ryu on top of.
Yeah, I mean, we do see Akuma do his air fireball at one
Yeah,
point.
we do.
So, I might boot up the game later tonight and try them out.
Along with the new characters, they also released a new mode that has like a health bar, instead of the classic platform fighter thing. Kind of like, what's it called in Ultimate Stamina mode or something?
Yeah, stamina mode. Yeah, it's just in closed room. But like thing about platform fighters, and especially in Brawlhalla, like movement is so huge, so you have to have a lot of space to move around, or else the game's just not the same. So it's just like this big empty room that you can just juggle your opponent endlessly in. Looks fun. And it is free to play.
But yeah, I didn't see that coming. I really didn't.
I'm not surprised. I mean, Brawlhalla crosses over with everything. Street Fighter crosses over with everything. It was a matter
That's
of time.
true.
Yeah, I think they're in the game like as of now, like right now. So moving on, we're gonna take a break from game announcements for community stuff. Surprising absolutely everybody.
Everyone.
Panda Global announced that they are partnering with Nintendo to run an official Super Smash Brothers tournament circuit for both Ultimate and Melee.
Oh, it also has Ultimate in it?
Yeah, Ultimate and Melee.
Okay. See, I only saw Melee,
Mm-hmm.
but it does make sense that Ultimate is included. That is
the first officially licensed competitive circuit.
Yeah, from Nintendo,
That's
no less.
Seriously gigantic. And I'm going to preface this, but I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on for a second, and just say, Nintendo, you're not slick. I know what you're doing. All right, So Panda Global announced this the exact same day that Multiversus was revealed. Last month, the Sora presentation and reveal was the exact same day that Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl was released. Last year, you released Kirby Fighters 2, I think it was, completely out of nowhere on the exact same day that the Switch version of Rivals of Aether released. You're not slick. And I again, I'm putting on a tinfoil hat here. But
I don't know. There's just too many of those for it to be a coincidence.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that once is happenstance, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a message. You're not slick. But I'm curious as to how this is going to work. Panda Global said more details for the short series of events with cash prizes coming later. But the fact that it's both for Ultimate and Melee is a gigantic deal.
Yeah, it is.
Although I don't think they're going to allow the UCF mod for Melee, which sucks because the UCF mod just makes the game better.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's wild though, because like Nintendo has gone to such great lengths to get people to stop playing Melee.
Yeah.
Have they realized that they're just not going to? Or are they just trying to cash in on it? Or I don't know. I'm actually confused by this move from Nintendo.
Yeah, information is sparse. It's basically just an announcement that a thing is happening. I don't know.
Like the Smash Ultimate circuit makes sense because that's their most recent game.
Yeah, but the fact that there's also a Melee circuit, that's genuinely surprising. I don't think we're ever going to get Melee HD. Because God forbid Nintendo re-release old games in good ways.
Yeah, let's not segue into that into that discussion again.
We could fill an entire episode just with ranting about how Nintendo treats their older games. I don't know. It exists. I'm kind of.
It's a thing. When we get more information, we'll give it to you.
Yeah, I'm just kind of blindsided by this whole thing.
Or follow at Panda Global on Twitter because they're partnering with Nintendo to put on this circuit, so they'll probably post information faster than you'd get it from us.
Yeah. Starting in 2022. So moving on, back to more game stuff. We're finally seeing more of DNF Duel, which I'm going to be honest, is a game I completely forgot existed, just like Project L.
See, I remembered Project L. I forgot about DNF Duel.
It was announced, I think like last year or 2 years ago. I think think at Evo.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but
But it's an ArcSys game.
it's an ArcSys game. Inspired by the Dungeon Fighter franchise, which in Korea is known as Dungeon and Fighter, hence the N in DNF.
Right.
I mean, it looks like an ArcSys game, which is not a bad thing. ArcSys makes really good-looking games. I know absolutely nothing about Dungeon Fighter.
All I know is that, see, to me, it looks a lot like MapleStory, where it's like the 2D sprite-based MMO style,
Yeah,
side-scrolling gameplay. And, I mean, it looks cool. I've never played it, so I'm going to be lost on the IP when I get into it. Oh, it's Nexon, so yeah, it's... But some of these characters look sick.
yeah.
Like, the art style in this game is awesome. But, I mean, it's also ArcSys, right? So what do you expect?
Yeah, it's good. It's gonna look good.
Yeah.
I don't know any of these characters. We got Punch Girl, who is not Jam from Guilty Gear.
Right. There's a gunslinger guy.
There's a judo guy. Gunslinger guy looks sick, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I have a thing for gunslingers, so I'm probably going to play the gunslinger first. But I also have a thing for girls in armor, so the girl with the battle axe also looks cool.
Yeah. And it's, continuing the Arc System Works tradition, trailer is 46 seconds long.
Yeah.
We got very little concrete information, other than the fact that it does, in fact, exist.
We don't know anything about when it might come out or what kind of characters are going to be in it, apart from the ones that are in the trailer. We don't know any solid info about gameplay mechanics. Like, to me, it just looks like an anime fighter.
Yeah. Which is not a bad thing. Like, I know nothing about Grand Blue, but I still have fun playing Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. R.I.P.
Rip. Hopefully,
I know it exists. It's just...
Hopefully the netcode on DNF is gonna be good. But the netcode for Strive was good, so I feel like if they just stick with that and keep doing what they did with Strive,
yeah,
it'll be good in the end.
Yeah, because they really did knock it out of the park with Strive, and
yes, they did.
Just do that again for DNF Duel, and you'll be fine.
Exactly.
All right.
I'm excited to try it. I just like fighting games.
Yeah.
I don't have to know the IP that's attached to it. I'm going to give it a shot, and I'll probably end up having fun with it.
And we're here to let you know that they all exist.
Yes.
Which they do. All right. So that's pretty much all I had for this week. I can't think of anything else to talk about.
Yeah, that's about it. That's all I had.
There's also the Street Fighter Fall update where they're going to show off Luke, which starts an hour after right now as we record.
Yeah, so you're not going to hear about that from us. You'll probably have already seen it by the time this episode even airs.
Yeah.
Maybe
we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next time. Luke looks interesting. That's the word I'll use.
Luke looks. He sure does. He is a character that will exist in Street Fighter.
That is absolutely correct. That is true.
All right. My name is Saximus.
My name is Ghoul.
Hit the lab. Good fight. Good night.